Hey, what's up everybody? Jason Turley here, back with another video. Today we'll be going over a TryHackMe walkthrough, a room called Startup, Abuse Traditional Vulnerabilities via Untraditional Means. If we scroll down here, we see that it's easy difficulty, and the first task says, Welcome to Spice Hut. We are Spice Hut, a new startup company that just made it big. We offer a variety of spices and club sandwiches in case you get hungry, but that is not why you're here. To be truthful, we aren't sure if our developers know what they are doing, and our security concerns are rising. We ask that you perform a thorough pen test and try to own root. Good luck. See, I've already started the machine here, and we have 3 questions to help guide us along our pen test. What is the secret spice soup recipe? So I guess that's like the first flag. Like, what is the secret to their soup? So we can click on this IP address. We can open up a terminal. We see I have a working directory created here. YouTube, TryHackMe. And I can make a new directory. I'm just going to call it startup because that's the name of this challenge level. CD into it. And let's get started with an Nmap scan. So if you're not familiar, Nmap is a very powerful tool. It's the network mapping tool. You can scan it just to get a sense of what services and ports are open on this website, what's running. Perhaps there's like a website on port 80 or 443. Perhaps there's a file server on port 21. And the flags, the switches, the options I provided were TAC SC and TAC SV. The SC will use Nmap scripts to find any low-hanging fruit, for example, like FTP anonymous logon, and the tag SV will get more version information. Don't just tell me what service is running, tell me what version it is, because perhaps that's an outdated version that we can exploit, that there's something public online that's outdated that hasn't been patched yet. So Nmap returned, and I did this little tag ON, I'll put normal, and so all the text here is also saved into this nmap.txt file, which is good. You want to save your scan results. You don't want to just leave them on the terminal for them to disappear. You want to save them to a file for later access, especially since we're simulating a pen test here. We want some type of file report to give back. So we see here port 21 FTP is open, and since we did the Nmap script, we see FTP anon script was used and anonymous logon is present. Anonymous logon means we don't need a username and password to get into this server, to get into this file sharing service right here. And it even prints out stuff in the home directory. We see something called important.jpg and we see notice.txt. And then the file sizes and then the dates they were created. So that's pretty nifty. We get some more verbose information. We see SSH is open, secure shell, so we can remotely log in. We see port 80, so there's a web server running. Let me go here and slam in HTTP and the IP address. See what's running on this website. Oh, I provided too many T's. There we go. So we get their landing page, no spice here. Please excuse us of our developer. Please excuse us as we develop our site. We want to make it the most stylish and convenient way to buy peppers. Plus, we need a web developer. By the way, if you're a web developer, contact us. Otherwise, don't you worry. And that's really it. We can hit Control U to look at the source code of this website, see what's under the hood. We see the CSS to make the style of the website. We see this comment here. When are we going to update this? Sometimes especially like capture the flags and events like this that are ranked easy difficulty, sometimes there's like credentials that are left here in comments, but I don't see anything. Let's come back here. We know port 21 is open, so let's connect to it with FTP. Slam in the IP address, hit enter. Okay, it asks us for a name. I'll type anonymous. And you can do anything for the password, or you can leave it blank. And we see that we got a successful login attempt. I'm going to do a dir to list out what's in my home folder here. We see there's an FTP directory, important.jpg, and notice.jpg. Let's grab those. We do help See what other commands we got going on. I think it's just called get. Yeah. So get, I could do get to get like one file to download one file, or do mget to download multiple. So let's download important.jpg. Let's download notice.txt. Yes, give me that. All right, we see the little progress bar. So we got that. Okay, just sanity check. You can see that these are downloaded here. I have GNOME. I don't have GNOME installed, but I can go here, open YouTube, TryHackMe, startup. Important. Let's see what's so important about this. Everybody asks who's the imposter, but nobody asks how is the imposter. So, okay, we get like a little meme. So I guess this wasn't that important after all. And close out of here. What's this notice.txt? Whoever is leaving these dang Among Us memes in the share, it is not funny. People downloading documents from our website will think we are a joke. Now, I don't know who it is, but Maya is looking pretty sus. Interesting. So this might not look like much, but we have Maya, so we have like a username, right? Perhaps we can use this with some type of like password spraying attack later on. Let's come back here. We saw that there's the FTP directory. Is there anything we can look at inside of there? Doesn't look like it. Can I do an ls-la? Ooh, okay. We get a little bit more info. And we download that test.log just to have it. Coming back here, let's cat out test.log. All right, that's just a test. There's really nothing interesting there. We can delete it. Okay, so what do we have so far? We have this anonymous FTP logon, and we have this website, right? Is there anything else hanging around on this website? Is there like a robots.txt file? No, that's not found. If we want to guess and see what other like directories and files and folders might be accessible on this website, is there like an uploads directory? No. I can keep guessing, or I can use a neat tool called GoBuster. So I have GoBuster installed on the system. It's a tool that will help us enumerate a lot of different things, but today we're just going to look at the different directory structure, the different directory files that might be hidden or like hard to guess manually. So we're going to use this tool to help automate it. So I'm going GoBuster dir tag H to print out the help menu, and we can look at the different options and syntax that we might want to use. We know we're going to need attack U for the URL, so like the website that we're targeting, and we'll need a W for the word list. So let's do GoBuster dir U. Let me grab this IP address one more time. That's our word list. That's the user share word list dirbuster directory list 2.3 medium.txt. That sounds good. And let's save that to GoBuster.txt. I don't know. The T command is pretty cool. It prints everything to the screen as well as to a file. All right, so we see a /files. So we can come over here. So I did /uploads, but perhaps everything is under /files. And there we go. So we didn't really need GoBuster. Maybe we could have just guessed that if we were more diligent. But yeah, we see the two files that we downloaded through the FTP server. They're linked right here. So what can we do with this? We have access to that server, right? To this portion, this file share. We can download stuff, but we can also upload stuff. So we could upload our own memes, or we could do something more useful, like uploading a shellcode, an executable, a payload that calls back to us and gives us remote access to the system. And I'll show you how to do that right now. So I'm going to leave the scan running. I'm going to open up a new pane in Tmux. I think this command still exists. I type web shells. Yeah, it prints out a whole collection of different web shells that we have. And we see the different languages, and you see that it changed my directory right here. The user share web cells. Let's go into PHP, ls, PHP reverse shell. That's what we want. Let's open that up in Vim. See what's going on. We see a bunch of comments. The description, this script will make an outbound TCP connection to a hard-coded IP and port. The recipient will be given a shell running as the current user, which is normally Apache. They give us some limitations, and right here they comment very nicely the things that we have to change. Now, I'm not going to change this because this is like the known good, like master copy. I'm going to copy this over, PHP reverse shell. I'm going to copy this to my like home directory, YouTube, TryHackMe, startup. And let's name it something different. We don't have to name it PHP reverse shell when we upload it. That's kind of obvious and generic. Like, I mean, that's very noticeable. Let's just call it index.php. Something a little bit, harder to tell what it is at like first sight. Back here, now we can open this up, index.php, and we can start changing things. Okay, so this IP address is set to localhost. That won't do anything. So we want to change that to our IP address. And you can see in my bottom right-hand corner that I have the IP address of my VPN, the TryHackMe interface, right? So I'm going to change it to that IP address. And we can leave the port as it is, or we can change it. I'm just going to do 54321. Nice and simple. Save and exit. Let's go back here to our FTP session. Now we can do put index.php. Oh, looks like my connection timed out. Exit, log back in. Anonymous, enter. Re-upload it. Cool. That's there. I can do a dir. Didn't like that. Could not create file. Okay, there we go. So it didn't like us uploading to this directory, but if I upload it to FTP, it looks like that worked. So you have to specify the FTP directory. I think you can also just CD into that directory. There you go. So don't upload it into this right here. You got to upload it into the FTP directory. Ooh, it doesn't like that. Let's see if we can roll with this. Let's start a netcat reverse listener, port 54321. Our file location is in index.php. Hit enter. And here we see that the connection called back to us and that we got a shell, right? It prints out the user we currently are, www.data. And I can hit enter, I can do ID. Yep, I'm still www.data. I can do an IP config or IF config since this is Linux. And we get the IP address of the web server that we're on. If you're wondering why we are the www data user, if I do a PSAUX, so we're exploiting this Apache service, right? Essentially, like this web shell, this server is Apache, and that's being run by www.data and not root. If like root was running the service, then we would be the root user, but we're not. So I can hit enter. I don't have tab complete, so I can't do LSLA like home. You see the tab doesn't work. So what we want to do is upgrade the shell to something more useful, more stable. I've got like a nice little blog post about this. Let me just quickly navigate to the site, blog, see this little icon here, Control F, show. Now, where's it at? Here we go. How to stabilize a reverse shell. So there's a few different ways to do this. The easiest one is in Python that I like. So let's grab this, make sure Python is installed. Cool, it's there. Slam that in, hit Control Z, send this to the background. Let's see if this works. Bang, bang. Okay, now I can do ls. I have tab complete. Awesome. And if we really wanted, we could upgrade the terminal environment variable as well. But so far, this looks good. So I'm kind of just poking around the system. I'm seeing what's going on, right? If we do an ls, type la again at home. All right, there's one user, Lenny. It doesn't look like we have access to the directory, these permissions. Yeah, permission denied. So we can't look into their directory. Do we have anything in our directory? ls-la, this current directory. Ooh, recipe.txt. And we have access to read that. Let's cat that out. Someone asked what our main ingredient to our spice soup is today. I figured I can't keep it a secret forever, and I told him it was love. Awesome. So if that sounds familiar, we can go back over here. And what is the secret recipe to our soup? The answer is love. Next up, we need to print out user.txt and root.txt. We can poke at the hint, something doesn't belong. Okay, not really sure what that means. The hint for the other one, it just says scripts. Okay, both of those are kind of meaningless to me at this point. We can see if locate is installed on the system. So can we just do a locate user.txt? Nothing comes back. They're users.txt. All right, so it might be in Lenny's directory in their home folder, which would explain why we can't really find it. So here we are. We looked at this. So this is the root directory, not root as in the home user, but root as like the beginning of the file system, if you will. We see /bin/boot. We already looked at the home directory earlier, but we see this. We see incidents. That's different. That's not something that's like typical. So let's take a look. ls-la at incidents. I can't control L to clear the screen. That's annoying. So hit enter. Let me see if I can do this. Export term. Color. All right, whatever. It doesn't like control L, but you can clear the screen with that. Ooh, I guess you can't. Term equals X term. There we go. So if you export the terminal environment variable, that's what term means, the terminal, to xterm, that allows us to play around and hit control L, right? If we're typing stuff, we can hit control U to delete it all. Just a little convenient feature. So before I get too sidetracked, let's go into that incidents directory. List it out. All right, we see suspicious.pcap.png. So let's run the file command on that. So pcap-ng capture file. Interesting. Do I have TCP dump on this? I do. So I can do TCP dump, type R, and we can read this file, see what's going on. Permission denied. It doesn't like that. Oh, TCP dump. Usually only the root user can run that, I believe. That's fine. Let me do Python. So I want to transfer this to my workstation, my Kali box that we were operating from. Let's see if I can do this. Simple. Nice. So we started a Python web server on the attack target, the victim, and now I can just download that with wget http:// we need that IP address one more time. You'd think I'd have it memorized. So copy the IP, come over here. All right, so the IP address we see is running on port 8000, and then let me just do the name of the file. suspicious pcap.ng. We see that it downloaded, and now I can do TCP dump, or I can do Wireshark. I no longer need this. I can hit Control C. Let's see what pops up in this Wireshark tab. Okay, we see there's a lot of packets. Can I just filter for data? Does that work? We see some stuff here. Here, let me do follow TCP stream. There we go. Okay, so this looks a lot better. So these are very similar to the commands that we ran, right? If I go back to the target, ls.la, all right, so this file was created November 2020. So just so we have a mental note of that. Okay, so this packet capture was capturing all the commands. What this so this packet capture captures the different commands that this user ran, right? So this should look very familiar. This is all the steps that we were doing, right? We see that they got like a reverse shell connection. They did an ls. They did a who am I. They confirmed that they're the data user. They ran Python pty to get a better shell, invoke bin bash. They're trying to get into the Lenny user's home directory, but just like us, they got permission denied. They did sudo tech l to list out what privileges this person can do as sudo. They entered this password. Ooh, sorry, try again. So that password's incorrect. They type it one more time, and it says 3 incorrect password attempts. So they cat out Etsy password. So they're looking at the users on the directory, or looking at the users on the server. That's interesting. I wonder if we grab this password and try it, will it work? Sudo tech l, paste in that password. No, try again. So this is not the correct password for data, but maybe it's the correct password for Lenny. So if we paste it in there, bang, we switched users to Lenny. We do an ID, we see what they are. I can do a sudo tech l, paste in the password. Sorry, this user cannot run sudo. So let me cd. Now I'm in Lenny's home directory, la. All right, we see a documents, we see a scripts. And there we go, users.txt. Let me make this bigger. So we can cat that out. And now we have that first flag, right? That's what we needed. Come back here, slam that in. Next, all we have to do is elevate to root somehow. Let's look at the documents folder. All right, concern, list, note.txt. Let's just cat all of them out. Anything.txt. I got banned from your library for moving the C programming language book into the horror section. That's pretty funny, actually. Is there a way I can appeal? Lenny, shopping list, Cyberpunk 2077, milk, and dog food. He's got his priorities in order, folks. Reminders, talk to Inclinant about our lacking security, hire a web developer, delete the incident logs. All right, so we know they did not delete the incident logs because we saw that incident folder that had the TCP dump, which got us the password. They still didn't hire a web developer because their website is lacking. Okay, there's not really too much here. That was weird. Let's look at that scripts directory. ls.la, planner.sh. Oh, that's owned by root, and so is this. Startup list. Let's they're pretty small in size. Let's cat out startup list. All right, that's blank. What about planner.sh? All right, it's a bash script. It echoes environment variable list into home Lenny startup list.txt, and then it runs etc print.sh. Is that a real file? It is. Can I cat it out? What is this? When is this being run? When is this being run? Can I do like a cron? Crontab? Crontab tag H for help? Okay, we can do L to list the user's cron tab. Nothing for Lenny. And look at root. I don't have permission for that, obviously. Cat Etsy cron tab. Okay. So let's look at this one more time. Let's cat out planner, hit enter a few times. Let's cat out startup list. So echo $list. There's nothing there. That's why this file is empty. It's echoing an empty environment variable. What if I set list to something like a root.txt and hit enter? Then I could do like watch ls like L startup list. So it's doing an ls every 2 seconds against startup list.txt, and we should see the file size change from 1 to something larger if root.txt actually gets catted out or echoed out into here. The syntax might be a bit incorrect in the way I did it. I'm not exactly sure if that's like the proper. Yeah, because it's echoing out this. If this was cat, it would be different. I don't think this will actually do anything. Yeah. However, it does execute Etsy print.sh. Let's look at that one more time. So only the Lenny user has access to this. Let's open up in Vim, not Perl. So it just prints out done. If I do an lsec_l one more time, we see the timestamp for this keeps updating, right? It's now at the current date 206. So that tells us every minute like something is updating this file. So there must be a root cron job that we just don't have access to read. So if root is executing this file and root is also going to be executing the print.sh, we can add something here. Let's start simple. Let's see if we can just cat out root.txt and save that to the startup list. Let's do another watch. So on the next minute, which is coming up very soon, we should see this update, if I'm understanding this correctly. There, we see the timestamp change, and we see the file size change as well. It's now 39. I can quit out of this with Q or Control C. Now let's cat out that, and we got the flag. Cool. So that's one way to do it. Alternatively, we probably could have created like another reverse shell, right? There's ways to do that with a pen test monkey. Let me just see if I can prove a point. There's a bunch of cheat sheets and stuff like that online. Payload all the things is pretty good. Pen test monkey is pretty good as well. Let me just grab this syntax real quick. So we have that. So bash, instead of this IP address, we want, just like before, we want the IP address of our VPN connection. We can leave this as port 8080. That's fine. And we also want a new netcat listener. We can close out of this Wireshark. I'm going to do netcat nlvp on port 8080 because that's what we specified. Let's do another watch command just because I like it. So we're at 35 seconds, right? Once this changes to 209, once again, we should see the file size perhaps change, and then we should see the timestamp update, and hopefully we get a connection. And this time, once we get our shell, instead of being data, instead of being Lenny, we should be the root user. All right, so we got a connection. We see some error messages from bash, but we also see that we're root. ID, we're root, pwd, we're in the root folder, ls like la. Nice. So we can also look at like their SSH keys. Oop. Stuff like that. Whatever. I'm not in my pretty upgraded terminal right now, so I can't do things like clear the screen. Let me do a cron tab, like L, and there we go. We see that cron job being kicked off. The stars mean every minute of like every day, essentially. So every minute, run what is ever in that planner.sh file. Just to refresh your memory, it runs this. So this is the bread and butter right here. It executes a bash script as root. So we could have put whatever we wanted as here, and it would have ran as the root user, as we just saw. So there you have it. We kind of flopped and fumbled a little bit. If I wanted, I can kill this initial connection, and that's fine. I still have my secondary shell as the root user, but I no longer have any connection as Lenny. Or cool, maybe I do. Whatever. So, oh, there's one more task. The credits, the thank you. I want to thank these people. All right, cool. So we completed it. There you have it. We saw we saw a lot of misconfigurations here. We saw anonymous FTP logon. We saw the Wireshark TCP dump packet capture. We were able to pull that back, analyze it. We got the password for the Lenny user. Whoever was doing that before was trying to do it for www data. It didn't work. But if they had tried to switch users to Lenny, it would have worked like a charm. And we used the cron job running as the root user as our privilege escalation vector. And that's how we got all the flags. That's how we pwned the system. So we can reach out to this company, this hypothetical company, and let them know, fix those things, and you're going to be good to go from a security standpoint for the most part. So there you have it. That's it for today's video, guys. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below if this was helpful, or if you found a different or better solution, a different initial vector. Maybe you didn't use a PHP reverse shell. Maybe you use something different. As always, take it easy and see you guys in the next video.